We are live.
Hey Tim, how you doing, man?
Hello.
Did you have a good
Doing
Christmas, sir?
yeah, about as well as it was going to go.
Okay, cool. Okie dokie. Let me see if I can put my light on because I'm looking very weird and washed out and yellow again.
Okay.
Um, oh, that's fucking bright. Oh,
Yeah, that was pretty bright. It was like a
sorry, Tim.
flash of light in your face.
Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better. I guess I look a bit pale and vampiric, but
Yeah,
oh well, that's just my silly face.
we don't have any moderators in the chat room yet, so I'm
Oh,
hoping
okay.
I have at least one mod in there.
Yeah, I mean it's people might be a bit busy still for the Christmas period if they're off with their families and stuff. So there might not be as many people. Yeah, it's almost 2024, Tim. Goodness me,
Yeah.
where has this year gone? Hello, Andrew.
Yeah, well, yeah, Andrew was here. He was away from his keyboard.
Andrew.
Okay, thanks, Andrew.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's this year's gone by really quickly actually. It
And
doesn't seem that long ago. It was Christmas before. Hey Tom. Hey man.
do you know Tom?
Yeah. Tom has joined Dean's stream a couple of times.
Okay,
He's
because the only Tom I know is Tom Connors from Midnight's Edge.
oh no,
So
1980s
this,
Star Wars guy is Tom. He's cool. He's a cool dude.
hello, Lester.
Hey
Lester.
guys, Merry Christmas.
Oh Lester, where are you today? You look like you're in prison.
Oh no. I'm at my folks. It's green. Trust me, they'll
Oh.
always make it green. I'm at my folks in
Oh.
San Diego.
I thought they'd finally caught up to you.
Sure.
How you doing,
Yeah.
man? Did you have a nice Christmas?
Yeah, it was pretty chill. It's chill. It's basically low key. Today, the the other siblings are in town, so they
Oh,
had
okay.
to spend time with their in-laws. So instead of a hubbub Monday, it was very chill and very relaxed on Monday. Nothing too fancy, nothing too.
Hi.
Guys.
Okay, cool. Hey, Monkey.
Hello,
Hello,
the
mate.
monkey.
Hi.
How you doing, man? Did you have a good Christmas?
No, but mainly because of family. Sometimes when we try to do it ourselves, we have a better time than when family try to. But on a better note, I gotta give you props because I think one of you did a. Oh no! It was the I was watching the 80s, the all about 80s guy, and he did a stream all while being sick. So that takes a lot of
Yeah, he
effort.
wasn't well. Yeah, he hasn't been very well at all. He did very well to do a stream. I wasn't able to make it, unfortunately, because I had issues here at the house that I had to deal with. But I did catch the stream afterwards, and yeah,
All right, guys. It's not a prison.
Yeah, see, he's very mobile where he's
cool.
at.
It
was just because there was a plain wall and a window. It looked perhaps I thought perhaps you were incarcerated.
I was in solitary confinement or something. Hang on,
He's
guys.
very
I'm just
mobile where he's at right now.
Why not? I'm just doing what Andrew. I'm just gonna pan the area.
Oh, that looks very nice, actually.
Yep. Mother doing
your Christmas
meal prep. And then there's my brother, the musician.
Oh, okay.
So
Got some
Yeah.
live music on the stream, Tim.
yeah, so I'm gonna go back upstairs so we can chat in a more quiet space.
Cool. Cool.
Let me get up the stairs.
Oh, I've left my beer in the fridge. Hold on, I'll be back in 10 seconds.
Okay.
And Travels and More, Jason says evening all, and Andrew says, hey, Lester's family, happy holidays to the entire Skeptical Tank crowd.
I'm back.
And then Andrew is that Travels and More, Jason, hey, happy day after Boxing Day, and then 1980s and Star Wars guy saying hello there, Jason.
Hello, Jason. I hope you had a nice Christmas, mate. Not long till you go away now, is it? You'll be leaving soon. When is it you go away? I can't remember. Is it next week? It's fairly soon. He's going out to Orlando, I think.
I didn't mean to bring you guys all down. I just was answering your question.
No, that's fine.
No,
No worries,
you
man.
bring us down.
What's all of yours favorites Tom Hanks film?
Ooh,
Good question. Probably Big, I would think. But it's difficult. I mean, there are so many good ones, aren't there?
right. I'm thinking either Forrest Gump, Saving Private Ryan. He was in that, right?
Yeah. He's done some really good ones. The Terminal, that was good.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I think Big would probably get my vote because it was such a big film when I was young. That was my first sort of introduction to Tom Hanks, really. And I do like Big. It's a bit
Yeah,
sad.
I remember. Yeah, I don't remember all of it, but I did watch the movie. And
Tom's saying "Catch Me If You Can"
was
is
solid.
his favorite Hanks film. That's another good one. Yep. Oh no, hang on.
Forrest Gump
Catch
for
Me If You
me.
Can. Wasn't that was Leonardo DiCaprio, and was Tom Hanks in that as well?
Yes.
Yeah. He
Can't
played
remember
the
it.
agent. He played the agent trying to catch him.
Yeah. Jason's saying he's going on Saturday. He's off to the airport on Friday. I see.
Do you want to see my top two?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can hear the Peter Cetera.
Yeah, I was thinking of that one, but I don't think I've ever seen that. I might have
What
seen
is it?
parts of Joe versus the Volcano.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah, and then
Okay.
Sleepless in Seattle. Oh, she was in Joe versus. Wait, she was in both.
Yeah.
Joe versus the Volcano and interesting.
Do you want to see my number one?
Yep.
Sure.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Bonfire of the Vanities.
There's a great cast in it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Well, what's your favorite Disney film adaptations?
What do you mean? So, what do you mean?
Like your favorite live action Disney film?
Well, I actually last night, believe it or not, I just stumbled upon it. I was flipping channels and the guide had a 98th birthday celebration on CBS for Dick Van Dyke. So I'm going to have to go with what he's done, particularly with understanding his entire legacy. He is really a timeless person in the world of entertainment in Hollywood. So it's got to be his stuff with Disney, like Mary Poppins. I think he was in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's more to his legacy too. Remember his brother that was in that one show, Coach.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah.
I'm not familiar with Dick Van Dyke. Hello, Delvian. Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by.
And
how about you, Tim? Tim, what are your what's your favorite Disney adaptation, Tim?
I don't know if I really have a favorite.
Okay. I don't really. I'm not into Disney stuff, so I don't.
Do you want to see my favorite? Do you want to see my favorite?
Well, sure. You blocked the question, and we're going to flip it back to you. Since you asked the question, we'll ask it back. Okay. All right.
Oh, okay. I hadn't seen that.
Yeah,
On 4K. It's the 4K edition.
Who is it that plays Cruella in that film?
That's
Emma Stone.
Oh, I like her.
Yeah.
She's also in the Amazing Spider-Man franchise.
Right.
Yeah, I like her. I think she's a good actress.
Yeah. 1980s and Star Wars guy. I've loved The Rocketeer as well, even though it's not. I don't think it's really an adaptation of anything.
Yeah, I just kind of overheard. I think Retro Blasting did a thing on it, but a lot of people have tuned into what Disney did back in the day with their more not so kiddie friendly. So I didn't know they owned it, but Touchstone Pictures was theirs, so that enabled them to do more live action stuff, kind of parting it away from their animated items. So
a interesting fact about The Rocketeer is that they there's the location that the Rocketeer gets the villain and the Nazis and everybody to meet him at. The observatory is actually a real location, and I when I used to play Grand Theft Auto 5, I used to be around that location all the time. And in the game, the tunnel from Back to the Future 2, it's just like maybe a mile away from the observatory. So in Grand Theft Auto 5, you got the Back to the Future 2 tunnel right next to a location in Rocketeer, and I thought that was pretty cool. But around the time of the Rocketeer, about a year or two before Sex and the City, what TV show had Mr. Big in it before he was Mr. Big?
I feel like I know the answer. Are you talking about Vincent D'Onofrio?
I'm talking about the one who was also in A Good Wife.
Oh no, I'm getting confused with Mr. Big and the Kingpin. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know who you mean.
Yeah, I think of Mr. Big. I think of the '80s rock band.
Oh well, the love interest of Sarah Jessica Parker in Sex and the City.
Oh,
that show I didn't watch.
Noth is his name? Christopher Noth? Chris Noth? That's the actor, right?
Well, before he was in A Good Wife and before he was in Sex and the City, he first got his start in.
Yeah, I see. Okay, now that you bring up Law and Order. Okay, yeah.
This is the
Chris Noth.
Yeah.
Christopher Noth.
They used to do these big honky editions, remember?
Yeah.
It weighs a ton. It's this huge stack. It's like really chunky.
How come I get the sense it's still in shrink wrap? Is it
Yep.
the camera?
Yep, it's still in shrink wrap because I'm that big of a fan of it. I've seen it, and I keep that one in shrink wrap because it's a collector's piece because
And can you show it again? And you might, show the front of it again, but you might want to adjust your screen so we can see more of you and your thing, because you have it set to where it's.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
Well, the thing with it looks like he's on his phone, right? So when you tilt the phone landscape, it's going to affect where the camera is, I guess.
I've never seen Law and Order before. I don't really know what it is, to be fair.
Oh,
It's
it's a episodic cat and mouse between the criminals, the police, and the prosecutors so it's basically there's a crime, it needs to be solved, and the person's found guilty and need to be prosecuted. And so
is it a new story every episode, or is it a continuation?
Yeah, you can say that, but then there have been some episodes over the years being like 2-parters. Recently they had a 3-parter because it was a crossover show with other spin-offs.
Yeah,
Right.
but it was based on real life. It's usually based on real life criminal cases, but they change it.
Yeah.
To where it's made fictionalized.
It's a slow burner if you're in the sense that it's more psychological, and there may be a snippet of action, but it's more psychological, intellectual, because you're trying to figure out who the perpetrator is. But sometimes, because I've seen it for so long now with the various spin-offs, I kind of can tell who the perpetrator really is. That's how predictable sometimes the scripting can be.
I don't think it sounds like my kind of thing, to be honest.
No, like I said, it's not everybody's.
But
and the monkey travels more. Jason's saying to you that the best way, if using your phone, is turn it the other way, as we can only see part of you, like Monkey Boy and Tim said.
I see him okay, but it's just a matter of orientation because it's either going to flip landscape. The camera will either be on his left or on his right, so it depends on what you want to capture. I think for now this one looks okay. It's not terrible.
And there's actually something. You know how you always say that? People always say that it's important to separate the person from their work.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
People are good before they do a bad thing, right?
Okay.
Pretty much.
Somebody built a character from the ground up and made this character what he was till like 2006, and I really don't. It's just not the same as it was, and this person did it. Oh, hold on.
Oh.
Being Elmo.
I don't know what that is, but I like Elmo.
Being Elmo, yeah, it's a Sesame Street Muppet character.
Yeah, I like Elmo.
This guy right here, from the time you were born, Tim, he was Elmo. and only in 2006, when he got in trouble for something, did he did he have to stop being Elmo. But he was in everything. He was in every episode that aired. He was in every special. He was he did the songs with Rosie O'Donnell on the Rosie O'Donnell Christmas album. He was on he was friends with Coolio. He was friends with a lot of different people, and he got to work. He got his big break when he was a puppeteer on the film Labyrinth.
Oh,
He even voiced the one of the characters that wanted to tear her apart.
I agree with what Andrew's saying. He's saying that Elmo is quite one of the newer Muppets. I remember when I was watching Sesame Street when I was young, Elmo wasn't on it then, so Elmo didn't come till a little bit later. But Andrew's saying that he prefers Grover, and I'd have to agree there. Grover was my favorite.
Yeah,
Well,
I was aware of Elmo.
I like Grover as well.
I was more of a Count guy.
Grover's the best. I think he's fantastic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
In the restaurant, he was always that sort of hapless waiter in the restaurant, getting the orders wrong and stuff. I used to roll about laughing at that. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
I always loved Super Grover.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Grover's cool.
But besides Elmo, guess who was my besides Elmo, I was a fan of the remember the one that owned the diner or the store?
Mr. Hooper?
Yes, I was a big fan of him.
Oh, okay, yeah. Name rings a bell. Yeah.
I didn't like any of the humans. I liked some of the Muppets, but I didn't like any of the humans.
But then they took Mr. Hooper off of the show.
That's because he really died. He died in real life.
Tom thought you were going to accuse Elmo of being a criminal.
Nope. I'm actually a fan of his portrayal of Elmo. I separate I can be a fan of what he, the part of him that made Elmo, like the part of him that was Elmo when he was Elmo from the time he started till 2006, without being a fan of the actor. So I'm saying, even though I understand because I've seen this, I saw it when it first was on, I think it was on Netflix first years ago, but and so I had to get the physical copy. But but this guy, even though he was really great at being Elmo, he was a horrible father. He was never home. He was always working being Elmo or going to different locations to because he wasn't just Elmo for the show. Whenever there was a meeting for different Elmo merchandise or an Elmo TV show or an Elmo special, he would always be flown out, and he always left. So the only time he was actually there for his daughter was at her wedding, and he still had to bring a video with LL Cool J and all that, and it had Elmo introducing them and wishing her a happy birthday. So sorry, oh no, I think it was her 21st birthday. Yeah. But the so he was so it's important to only that I was. So what I'm saying is, the only thing he was straight at being was Elmo. And I'm pretty sure even his daughter would agree. But but the I don't want to hold up the chat so you can take me off big screen. But
You're not
Oh, no,
on
we've done that. We've
okay.
done
I
that.
think you can safely put the DVD down now. Was the guy that puppeteered Elmo? He did the puppeteering and the voice at the same time.
Yes.
Is that the
He
case
can.
with all the Muppets, or?
Well, no. He was personally trained by Jim Henson himself, and he started out not doing the voice of Elmo. He started out as a puppeteer, so that's how he got to be able to do both, to puppet Elmo and voice him.
Right. Okay. So
Well,
is it the case that
I'll push
the
back a little bit.
puppeteers would they all do the voice for their own puppet? So the guy that puppeteered the Count was also doing the voice for the Count. Is that how it works, or?
In the originally, Jim Henson did a lot of the voices, but the not very many people. I mean, the only other person that has a documentary out there is the one that did Big Bird. So
Okay.
it was that's kind of what made Elmo extra special, because it was only one person.
Right.
And but yeah, so what I was trying to teach you all was that he even though later in his life he just didn't do that bad stuff, he was a bad person to begin with by 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 being a bad father. You know,
Right.
his daughter for like 21 years only saw her father on the big screen and on the TV, because he never said no to an Elmo promotion or to an Elmo anything. It's like
Well,
every
I'll push back.
yeah.
I'll push back a
Okay.
little bit. So my dad served in the military.
And
Gone
Andrew's
from-
saying that, an unrelated matter, but why does Excel default to the bottom left, to the bottom of the cell justification? I don't know, Andrew. I've never used Excel in my life. I barely know what it is. Andrew's saying that they usually voice their own Muppet, but some Muppets require several operators. Okay.
Your father served his country well, but what I'm saying is that
what I'm saying is,
yeah.
Okay, he may have his faults, but keep in mind, a lot of the people in Hollywood don't get paid as well as people want to say they get. Well, they don't get as well paid as people like to think they do. So, and I know it seems very deserting of the person because if the person didn't see their father as often, but there are times where, even especially with single mothers, I don't know where the mother is. People can say, well, what about the mother? Maybe he was, we don't know if he was, did they say anything about him being a single dad?
No, the mother raised her, and they were, as far as I remember, he was with her when he first got famous, but he kept saying yes to work. And
was the mother also provider for the household?
No, I
saying
think she. Okay.
I'm only saying that because it's easy to paint that broad brush and say because he wasn't there all the time, he wasn't being a great dad. Sometimes living up to the role of father is making sure there's a roof over their head, there's food in the mouth, and there's clothes they wear. So, yes, as much as people would love the get-together time, maybe that's how he showed his love for his daughter. Some people, everyone's got a charism in how they exhibit their role as whatever, father, brother, mother, sister, cousin, whatever. And that's how he had to do it. I'm just saying I'm just pointing out that's probably the reality he had to live through. I'm not going to put any value judgments on it one way or the other because I'm not in his head. I don't know his life. And again, like I said, was also providing an income. If that's the case, then okay, maybe there's a case for that. But you know, with these documentaries, you don't know what angle they're taking it from. I'm just saying.
Well, he actually had a say in it in the documentary, and he basically did say exactly what you said, but he so it's like he's aware of all of it, and he's sorry. At the time of it was being made, he was so.
Yeah. So
but
I'm just saying be measured in how you would say whether the person was a bad father. Because there are some fathers who desert the kid wholesale.
Okay.
I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. And based on what I'm reading from Kim Gonick, I'm sorry, Kim, didn't mean to make it sound like it was a serious
what
topic.
is going on now? I was in the bathroom.
No, it's okay. We were just talking about the person, the puppeteer who puppeteered. I just kind of pushed back on Monkey saying that he was a terrible father because he didn't see his kid as often. And I only pushed back because I said, well, you got to look at it from another perspective. And
Okay.
Well, to be fair, I only was highlighting that because of what he got in trouble for. So I was saying that's not the only bad thing he did.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well,
hey Kim, thanks for stopping by. Christmas was okay. Yeah,
it was just amazing, okay.
But it was a reasonable Christmas. Yeah, thank you. Hope you had a good time. I know it's been very stormy up where you are.
So Monkey Boy, do you usually have a low key on Christmas morning, or do you get like just a meal?
Yeah, well, I mean, my Christmas is always very low key anyway. I just went and I spent the day with a friend, and we made some Christmas lunch and had a nice time. But yeah, it's not. We don't have big parties or anything. I don't have any family, so there's no big get-togethers or anything.
Yeah.
Well, you won't believe what I found, Monkey Boy.
Okay, tell me.
I found the same kind of whiplash that you have, but the doggone seller of it was just so busy because I was there on Christmas Eve, and he was so flooded with people. I didn't have a chance to ask him about how much he wanted for it, but he just had it there, and he hadn't labeled it yet. But it when I saw the whiplash, I thought of you because it was the exact same one.
So it was the one from the original Mattel line back in the 80s, yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
It's
it's hard to get him in good condition because the paint always comes off his eyebrows, and his teeth come off. His teeth paint comes off as well. He's quite a difficult figure to get in good condition.
I took a photo with it, and I can send it to Tim later, and then he can send it to you.
Excellent.
But to the one that I was having a discussion with about the Elmo, I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to paint him as the worst father. It just so many people only describe him as for blaming him for what he did.
So we maybe just move past the whole Elmo guy.
Let's
just move past.
So they only talk about what he got in trouble and what he got kicked out of being Elmo for, and so I was just explaining that he did that. Well, so I was just explaining what most other people don't talk about him. So I was just trying to give you all a more round, yeah,
that's okay. That's okay. But let's just move past it because it's not.
I was done with it. I was done with it.
Okay, yeah, but we want to move past it since this is chill stream. We just want to have fun.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I meant by I was done with it.
So Tim, have you got anything to show us this week?
What's that?
Have you got anything to show us this week, Tim? Any Christmas goodies?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Aside from this thing I already showed that I stuck this in my stocking, I haven't opened it yet though.
Oh.
Wait, you
need to show us that when you build it, Tim.
Yeah, I haven't.
Maybe do a little build video or show us some, or you can show us on the stream when you've built it. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
So wait, is that what you got from your parents, or is that what you gifted yourself?
It's just something I gave to myself, just stuff in my stocking. Yeah, my mom gave me, or was just taking money off for what I owed her for the Best Buy Geek Squad protection for my computer.
Wait a minute, did Best Buy? Yeah, never mind. I'm not going to go into that about the Best Buy whole Geek Squad situation, but anyway.
Jason's saying he got the Lego Batwing from his brother, so he's building the Batwing at the moment. That's pretty cool.
That's right. Yeah, he was talking about that and he's listening to us. Didn't mean to make your ears bleed, Jason. But let's see. I'm gonna wait. We're waiting until the rest of my siblings come over to see what we gifted each other. Yeah, so it won't be revealed until whenever.
Right. I apologize to each of you for not being chill.
No, you're okay, man. No, you're good.
If I can,
to apologize.
Okay. If I can remind you, it was right before I got on the stream that I had a talk with family. So they kind of can put you in a sour mood.
Yeah, that's okay, man. No worries.
So, sorry. I'll wait for whoever was trying to talk.
Oh no, I just said that like I'm going to wait till everybody's here, and then we'll do the gifting to each other. And I was just about to say something about the Geek Squad, but I won't because it's the Christmas season. Well, as far as your protection, how long is your protection lasting for that computer, Tim? If you don't mind my asking, how long is it usually good for?
The thing is, I think I had it for this computer when I first bought it, but then I didn't renew it, so I had to I waited till after there was one time where I waited till after I had a problem with the computer that I had to get it back, and then I owed my mom money and I had to pay her back, and now.
Oh, I see. So so they allowed you to pick up where the protection left off or something, so your computer's still protected?
Well, it cost me more money if I wanted to get it, and then, but I had her paying it in her name, so it's just.
Well, that's a good peace of mind to have. I know sometimes it's very iffy when it comes to that stuff, but what do you find it worth your time? Like, what will they replace the unit if it's broken? What will they do?
Well, the thing is, last time I didn't have the Geek Squad protection, so I had her have to pay for it all over again, and I didn't have my my internal hard drive got corrupted, so I had to buy. They had to sell me a whole new internal hard drive to replace the old one.
I get you.
No.
Okay.
One
Did
time.
you lose all your stuff, or were they able to retrieve it?
No, this was a while. This was, I think, last year or two ago.
Okay.
I had that problem, but then it was paid for in my mom's name, so it got renewed in her name. So I'm having. That's why I'm having to pay her back.
Yeah, well, it's good to have, because especially even for someone like myself who's put together computers, I don't do it consistently enough where I want to do it. I want to do it every time. So like, I'm knocking on wood every time my computer still runs, because it's not luck of the draw all the time, but it can feel that way sometimes, where the one drive you have, which, for example, I buy a lot of my stuff used when I had done so in the past, and then I bought a drive fashioned as new, and that one only lasted a week and a half, and I found out in the worst of ways. And I'm one that values my time, so no, that's good. You got it. I'm happy you got that. But put a more cheery note, got to spend a little time with my niece. Even though she was a little groggy, she woke up at like 9 o'clock a.m. my time, and we were just chatting, talking with her, and her thing just blows me away that she's only 6 years old and she can cognize so much stuff. Like, she knows she's sick. She kind of can tell when medicine is yucky, and she's been picking out Legos like nobody's business. So I think a relative of my sister-in-law, they gifted my niece a Lego set, and so she was busy knocking that out. And the one thing I appreciate about Legos is how easy their instructions are.
Yeah, they do have good booklets. Yeah.
I'll just say, like, there was a video I put up on my channel about my Christmas tree assembly. It had the worst instructions known to man. Like, really, you want to keep it to one page on one face of the paper? I guess, but there wasn't enough detail. Like, okay, what do you mean by this? What do you mean by that? And the pictures were very cruddy, very, very cruddy, and I was just not a fan. And I figured it out. I had to figure it out on my own. So at least I have a tree now in my apartment that I can use for as long as I'm there, because it's a 4-foot tree, not very tall, and it's artificial, so it's not going to run the risk of dying.
Yeah,
it's a decorative piece, to say the least. So what food do you normally? What kind of food do you normally eat again, Monkey Boy, on Christmas morning? Is it just whatever comes to mind, or do you have like a tradition?
Well, traditionally we have turkey, but this year my friend and I we had chicken, because I find turkey is a bit dry and and it's a bit big as well. If there's only sort of 2 or 3 of you, a turkey is far too big. So although I must say it was a big chicken, it was the biggest chicken I've ever seen, to be fair. Um, I think it, when I first saw it, I thought it was a turkey because it was so
Okay.
big, but
Yeah.
it was actually a chicken. But no, it was okay. And then you just, do all the vegetables, all the potatoes,
Yeah.
carrots, parsnips,
Yeah.
sprouts. Do you have sprouts in America? Brussels sprouts? Do you do
Yeah,
that
we
in
do.
America?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
So
about
no,
you, Tim? Did you go to your brother's like you were talking about, or did you go somewhere?
Yeah,
Okay.
and we had turkey and honey baked ham for dinner.
ooh,
Oh,
nice. Nice.
I'm not often a ham guy, but I can go for that right now. Honey baked ham, especially. Yeah. No, so like I said, it was. So what happened is on Sunday I flew in from Portland, and I learned my lesson. So Sunday wasn't the greatest of days because I never knew this was a thing. So they overfueled the plane. They fuel the plane so it can cover greater distances, right?
Yeah.
But apparently it was too much fuel, and so they had to double the amount of time I would be in the air. So typically going from Portland to Sacramento, California, that's typically about an hour and a half flight. So it
Right.
almost doubled that. So it was like 2 hours and 45 minutes. And it caused me to get booked 2 times, one rebooking and another rebooking. By the time I landed in Sacramento, I got a text saying, "Oh, we rebooked you. Oh, we rebooked you again." And so I was up and about that Sunday morning, like around five or six, just making sure I got everything completely packed. And I didn't get into San Diego until 4:30, which I get it, but when you're delayed as much as I was and you're kind of getting frustrated, especially my favorite thing being when I get to San Diego and I'm in baggage claim, waiting, did my bags miss the jump? Like, did I get my bags to begin with? Have that meet the parents situation. Did you ever see Meet the Parents?
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole scene where Greg acquiesced because he didn't want to check his baggage in, and so that whole thing just snowballed around. So
well, at least got them. At least they didn't lose them.
Yeah, so I got my bags, and so we decided to go to the late night, 8 o'clock in the evening, 8 o'clock at night mass. So because my parents said we're either going to go to the mass at 5 o'clock on the military base, or we're just going to chill and be at home. So Monday was pretty uneventful, except for me just munching on a bunch of food. Like I don't know how many cheese rolls I've had over the last couple of days, but my parents got a box of cheese rolls.
So you were well cheesed.
Oh, you remember that? Yeah, you could say that. I was well cheesed. But it was just a lot of food. Just eating that Monday, and I was watching football, American football, that entire day, and then finally getting the YouTube TV my parents decided to share with me because they put me on their family plan or something, and so I working that just and then watching some stuff on Netflix, stuff like that.
Cool.
So
cheese whiz.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah. So was it pretty chill at your brothers, right, Tim? Is it usually a big gathering? Does your brother have kids of his own? I think you said he did, right?
Yeah, as a teenager, but yeah, it was kind of boring aside from dinner. I didn't really have any fun there.
Oh wait, highlight Andrew, and I'll answer him. I'll answer him straight up. Yes, it was Porto's, man. That's exactly. Yes, they make the best cheese rolls. They're out of Southern California, and my sisters would bring some down. They're known for their plentiful pastries. So sorry, monkey boy, you can only have like half a pastry. Like, you'll be in a weird cone. You'll be like, this is how I'm gonna go out as a diabetic. There's a better place. A lot of good pastries. But yeah, I remember going to one of the locations in LA some years ago. Yeah, good stuff. Best cheesesteak. That's a fact, Andrew. That's a fact. Yeah. But you said you were kind of bored at your brother's.
Yeah, it just didn't seem like there was much to do aside from eat dinner and then just watch everybody else get presents. I didn't get any thing there, so I was just bored.
Oh, that's too bad. Sorry to hear that.
Oh.
It's kind of funny because I don't know. I don't know if it's something I grew past. This idea. Oh, I want this for Christmas. But the thing is, I work. I can afford more or less. Kind of. I can afford a lot of what I want. And if it's something I can't afford, I'm not likely going to buy it.
Hi, lovely Sherry.
Good to see you.
Chat.
Hey, Sherry.
Hope you had a good Christmas. Hope the kids got what they wanted.
Well, yeah, it's my nephews and my niece. They're like teenagers now, so I didn't think now that they're big there was anything to get them. But
right, because because I don't know how well you know them. Like, at least with my 6-year-old niece, I kind of have an idea of what she wants and what she likes, so it's easier. My nephew, on the other hand, it's a little tricky. I believe I did this stupidly years ago. I went to a monster truck show in Portland years ago with coworkers, and I took a gang of shots. Now I'm going on my Google Photos, and like, where did those shots go? I must have deleted them somehow. Maybe because I was trying to free up space. I'm just kicking myself because my nephew is into trucks. But every time I see him on FaceTime, he has a new truck almost every time. Like he had like a dumpster truck, and he's got the flatbed truck. He even had brought some a year or so ago, whenever that was. He even showed up his post office truck. Yeah, you can never go wrong with giving people toys. Sure, that's true. But my sister can pretty much afford new toys for her son very easily. So I got him some stuff, some plush dolls from Nintendo, but I don't know how much he still likes them, or if he likes them at all. So it's for whatever reason, he's the trickiest because I think it's also because my sister can afford the toys he wants. There is GOC, Gerard O'Connor. Ooh,
Gerard, yeah. I hope he's doing all right.
Yeah, I don't know where he's at.
Well, Monkey Boy, can you please tell Skeletor that I said thank you for the song? I loved it.
Excellent, good. I'm glad.
And I have a what?
Thank you for suggesting it.
Oh, and I have a response to the song. Are you ready?
Yep.
Oh, Starfield.
So it wasn't just a. So it wasn't just a request because I love the song. Every time I play this game, I think of that song.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. I saw a trailer for the game before it came out. It looked quite good, but I'm not really into games. I don't do very well with modern games anyway.
Oh, okay. But what's your favorite Michael Caine film?
Oh, Get Carter, I think.
Okay.
Not familiar with that. Don't know that one.
Interesting. I have yet to see the It Press file, but I've been told it's a good one.
Yeah,
It
no,
is such.
I'm not hugely familiar with Michael Caine films.
Oh,
Harry Brown was okay, but I think Get Carter
uh,
was probably my favourite.
it is. It is such a wonderful film that it even got a look. It got picked up by Arrow.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, you won't believe who else starts in it with him. I'll see if I can put it up right. Right there.
Oh, Mickey
Mickey
Rooney.
Rooney.
Uh-huh. So
Mm.
so they both started it, and that did not happen too often. I don't think he co-starred with Mickey Rooney in another film, right?
Don't know.
Okay. The funny thing is that the one that's right above me, he works with the Lord, and he looks like he is right outside the gates of heaven.
Oh God. God.
You do have difficulties with Lester's name, don't you?
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. No. Where's it gonna go? Michael Caine film. I don't know if I would consider myself a fan. I respect his work. He's not someone I really followed growing up, but I did like him in the Batman series with Christian Bale. He was a different Alfred, I guess, for the time frame they were trying to put that in. He was decent. He was solid, and I like him.
I even liked him in Jaws 4.
Oh yeah, God, that was awful. That film.
Check my shoes. Well, yeah. No, I'm still here. I'm still on this planet. Rest assured. Mickey Rooney voiced Santa Claus and was Rankin Bass. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I didn't know the reference Rankin Bass until someone brought it up. Those series of Christmas films, yeah, those were solid.
Yeah, I don't know what they are. Obviously, we didn't get those in the UK, so.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the special Santa Clauses coming to town. It's Rankin Bass.
Oh, did they do like animation then or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did animation and stop motion animation.
Yep.
Ah,
Yep.
okay.
Then there was another. I think it was Frosty the Snowman was another.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did The Hobbit, and then they did Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King animated.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with those.
Well, I'll have to check it out and renew my Mac subscription when I get to it. It's funny. I might do a little thought piece on that. It's funny because I look at streaming services as like apartment complexes, right? And a lot of these streaming services are in a month-to-month lease because it's really funny because with a lot of these services, they're month-to-month, and you can back out almost any time.
Yeah.
And you can sign right back up. And people wonder why they're losing money. You know what I mean?
It's kind of the model that they've all adopted, isn't it? And I guess
yeah.
people don't want to pay for a year up front because don't want to commit to a year in case they want to cancel, which is which is fine. I mean, at least they're getting the money.
Well, it is intriguing because a lot of the times, at least in America, when it comes to apartment rentals, you either have depending on how the property management decides, they'll either give people a month-to-month option, a 6-month option, or a 12-month lease.
Right.
So the perk behind having a lease is that they won't change the rate on you, so you lock that price. So it's just like, are the streaming companies missing out on how they do month-to-month leases? I'm not telling them to maximize their greed, but as long as they go to this month-to-month model, nothing is stopping them from raising the rates like YouTube's done with their premium service, as well as Netflix has done. Periodically, they've raised. I think they did a recent rate increase, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
People
Well,
wonder whether
the
they're losing money. What's that?
Yeah. The BBC in the UK have just increased the TV license again. So
Is that passed to anyone who owns a TV, or passed on to all citizens?
it's anyone who has a TV.
Okay.
I mean, there are ways around it. I mean, I have a TV, but I don't pay the TV license because I don't watch any broadcast television. My TV isn't connected to the
Antenna or cable system.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't, because I don't watch TV. I haven't watched TV in about 25, 28 years, something like that. So I don't pay for the license.
Speaking of Netflix, do any of you watch Stranger Things?
I don't have Netflix.
No, I watched the first season, but I got pretty pissed off with it by the end. I lost interest by the end of the first season. So
what was the major appeal of it, if you don't mind me asking, Monkey Boy? Because I heard it over the years, but I could never find myself getting into it.
No, I couldn't get into it. I mean, I originally watched it because of the nostalgia and sort of the 80s connection. That's why I wanted to watch it. But I lost interest by the end of the series. I watched the first season and was kind of fed up, and then I started the second and just thought, nah, this is not for me. It's gone a bit too silly, unfortunately.
Well, speaking of collectible, they ended the 4th season, but the interesting thing is that when they were about to start filming the 4th season, COVID happened. So they had to wait till COVID ended, like 2 years, before they could start filming again. But since they had started with a cast of kids, they had all grown in those 2 years. And so you had a character, you had an actor that he was losing his hair, and so they just kind of gave him these kind of cheap, greasy hair extensions, and the season just kind of but even though it was a really good 4th season, it gave Freddy Krueger vibes, and it even had Robert Englund in it. But
Robert Englund.
We're not getting the 5th season till 2025, so yeah, but that's going to be the final season. And speaking of it, speaking of collectibles, this is a replica of the and it's usable, but it's from the 4th season. This is the one that they all use in the 4th season, and you can even see it being used in the trailer. This is the one that.
Is that a flashlight, or is that what I think as a lightsaber?
Hold on.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right.
But in the show, but in the scene, it is a flashing thing. See where the thing, where the beam is not as it doesn't see it does that
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
in
But
the
like we're like
trailer.
go ahead.
In the trailer, it does that too. But I'm done talking about it. I just thought that it was cool being a cool prop replica that is usable from the last season.
Yeah, it's cool that it flickers. I feel that every flashlight in every movie always flickers. When anyone gets a flashlight out, it always flickers. But that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like my dad has the funkiest thing in his watch list. So he's been watching a lot of foreign flicks. I think I told you guys that already. Like I remember it used to be Scandinavian flicks. Now he's watching some French. Like, all right, Dad. And I finally was applauding him because he finally watched it in the original language and not English dub, because a lot of the time they don't get the dubbing actors right. It just comes off as fun. So
Yeah.
that's just me.
I have a bone to pick with you, Lester, about that. I did try to get into more foreign films, but what you all didn't tell me was that certain foreign films have a lot more blood in them. They're a lot more gory.
Well, I think it also depends on the genre, no? Right?
Do you not like Blood and Guts, Monkey?
Well, I do. I just wasn't expecting it because they didn't advertise it.
Oh,
It's kind of like how, remember how when they did the remake of the Evil Dead, and
yeah.
it just rained blood.
Yeah.
Everybody was just blown away by it, and they weren't expecting it. So I was used to the American and the American amount of blood and gore, and I was really, my mouth was agape when I was watching
I
this
like that
foreign
Evil
film.
Dead remake. I thought that was very good, actually.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I quite like gory films. Certainly used to like them when I was sort of younger. I liked them a lot. I used to watch a lot of horror films. So the more gruesome they were, the better, really. I guess you can have too much of it. It can you can sort of lose the appeal after a while, I guess. But
I mean, go ahead.
I was a little disappointed of a scene they cut from The Lost Boys that was Jack Bauer's favorite scene, and there was a longer cut of it where where the lead vampire is chomping on a bald guy's head, and he was told to treat it like he was eating cake, and it was like a prosthetic or like a fake one, and there's a lot of, like, yes, it is shown in the scene when they're on the beach, but only like a couple frames of it. But it originally was a longer scene. He was supposed to eat the entire back of his head off.
Yeah.
And there was more to do with the girl that worked in the video store. There's a whole subplot, and I personally feel that that's what the song "Cry Little Sister" was about. Because when you have it played by a lady singing "Cry Little Sister" from the Lost Boys soundtrack, and you watch the deleted scenes that feature more of the video store girl clerk, you see that when Claire, Michael's mother, is on the phone at the video store talking about her boss, the video store girl is looking at her like, like she knows what's going on. I mean, if you
Okay.
focus on her and not the mother, she knows what's really going on, and
Okay.
there was a scene that they did not film, but it was
Mhm.
wrote in the original script, where
Mhm.
at the end they show the cave again, but you see the video store clerk girl crawling weakly into the cave.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Ah,
So, sorry for talking too much, but I
that's
just
okay.
they really cut some really good stuff out of that film, and I was happy they included some of it on the newer editions, and
Okay.
but
I'll have to check that out. I bought it again on Blu-ray a couple months ago. I'll have to. I haven't watched it yet. I've obviously seen it loads of times, but I bought it on Blu-ray, so I'll have to check and see if those extended scenes are on there. I'm not sure they are
yeah.
actually, but it'd be
If
nice
you
to see them.
if you were wondering how Michael got that bike, he actually worked. There's actually scenes that show he worked. He worked a job to earn the parts for it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that wasn't action, so they cut it.
Right.
It was just
Okay.
him looking like a frustrated young adult doing a job he didn't want to do. So they cut it.
Okay. What have you got there, Tim?
Well, I don't know if I showed off any of these movies I got from Vinegar Syndrome recently or not, but one I got is called The Black Room. It was made in 1981. It came out in, I think, 1982. It's a bit of a vampire movie,
Okay.
and it stars, well, it's mainly a bunch of unknowns: Stephen Knight, Cassandra Gava, Jimmy Stathias, Clara Perryman. Yeah, Linnea Quigley is in it in a smaller role, and then Christopher McDonald.
Yeah, I'm not
But
familiar with that.
yeah, it's a bit of a vampire movie. It's where this brother and sister, they rent out part of their room in their house to people, and they serve them wine, but it turns out that this brother is this vampire like scientist that keeps luring people into his house to drain them of their blood.
Ah.
And he lures this man into there. Well, usually he'll lure like swingers in there,
Oh, okay.
so he could get more than one person, and he lures this father in there who starts inviting all these women over. He starts sleeping with all these women who keep getting caught, and they keep getting drained of their blood. And then somehow the man ends up does have a wife and kids, and they get lured into coming over there. So
Oh.
that's about as far as I want to get into it.
Okay.
What is it rated, Tim?
I don't think it's rated, but it would be an R, because it could almost be an X-rated, because it's a little bit erotic, but I think it's more of an very R-rated movie, because there's a little bit of sex and nudity, but it feels like an early 80s R-rated horror movie.
Okay. I'll have to keep my eye out for that. Maybe check that out at some point. I do like 80s horror. Hello to Action Dad. Hello, Nick. I'm sorry you're not feeling well, man. Hope you're better soon, dude.
Okay. Oh, and
Go on,
Lester
Monkey.
says he has to hop off, so he's going to get a bite to eat or walk around his old neighborhood. Merry Christmas, guys. Or he's going to get a bite to eat or walk around his old neighborhood. Merry Christmas, guys. Okay. See you, Lester. Thanks for stopping
Yeah,
by.
man.
Yeah, thank you for the invite. Merry Christmas again, guys.
Thanks, dude. Merry Christmas,
That-
man. Happy New
Merry
Year.
Christmas. You too. You too.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Hey,
See ya.
Lester.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Oh, I gotta watch that one of these days. I don't know if my niece is old enough to watch it. I'll have to talk to my brother about that. The
well,
OG Home Alone.
Well, speaking of that, can I share with you all a very hot take?
What is the hot take?
Go on.
Well, when people think of the Home Alone franchise, they often think of the Kevin McAllister films, and when you're going to be in a film, it's important to leave a lasting impression and kind of like make a legacy of your film or films, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we all are aware of the Kevin McAllister one, and nobody ever thinks of no, they can't think of a single thing in number 4, 5, and 6, and the god awful sequel to the loose sequel reboot that is
Oh,
that had,
I checked out
Yeah.
of that after I think the.
Yeah,
How many did
but-
Pumpkin do? Did he only do the 2 or did he do a 3?
He did the
Well,
first two, and then there was a third one that had a different
Well,
kid
Yeah.
in
Okay.
it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And then
What
there
I'm
was the
trying-
made for cable.
what
Well,
I'm trying to say is that where the Kevin McAllister films are known and have a legacy, and like I said, was building towards where no one can remember anything from 4, 5, and 6 except that they were awful, and the other one, everyone still remembers this one.
Yeah, that's the third one.
That's about when I decided to check out a Home Alone. You
I didn't know there
The-
was a 4, 5,
the
and a
2
6.
were enough. I think if I were honest, I don't know. If I were honest, I think the first one was good on its own. I don't know about you, Monkey Boy or Tim, but
I've
Yeah,
only seen the
I
first one.
Two of them were enough because by part 3 they were remaking it a bit too
yeah,
much.
Well,
yeah.
Well, the interesting thing is that the actor who played Kevin McAllister was offered to be brought back for the third, but he declined. He said he didn't want to come back because he thought there was nothing else he could give to the role.
Well, I think he was
So-
getting too old, so they just needed a younger kid.
Yeah.
But he was offered it, and he turned
Yeah,
it down.
he was. He might have been offered it, but he was really getting too old to be
Yeah,
doing movies
but-
like that.
But thank
Yeah.
you. That's what I'll leave off of that note. I'll talk to my brother about Home Alone if he already showed it to his daughter. But I
Yeah.
haven't seen that in movies. So again,
But-
peace out, everyone.
Thanks,
And,
Lester. Cheers,
and
man.
Zentara,
Yeah, Lester.
they're gonna let me out of my cell soon enough when my sisters come over.
Just remember,
Yeah, man.
Lester, don't. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So
Hello,
what I was
Zantara.
saying is,
Hey, Tara. Hello, hello to you, and hello to Gerard as well. Good evening. Sorry, Monkey, go on.
so what I was saying is that even though 4, 5, and 6 are really unmemorable, yes, even though the third was not as good as the first two, this is the only other one that people at least they talk about, and they know enough about it that that it's mentioned, where 4, 5, and 6 are not. They just classified as god awful, but it's actually, I like at least this actor made it his own. I mean, when you think of 3, you still see his face in your mind, while all the others just kind of blend together, the other ones. So I would say in the franchise, Kevin McAllister and this one are at least the ones that people remember the most. You know,
So in the third one, is he supposed to be Kevin McAllister, or is it a different character?
it's a different character. In the there's actually another release of this film that has a different cover. That the cover art actually says better than the first 2.
Right.
But wait till you see what they say on the back. Can you read it?
Big laughs. A real kid pleaser.
Yeah. And one thing you may not know about this film is it actually stars a young Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, really?
She plays the older sister. So basically, she was given the Buzz role.
Oh.
But yeah. So and I actually do agree with Lester that when I think of the Home Alone first 2 films, I actually only own the first one and the third one because I only see the first one that it could really stand on its own. Like it doesn't need a second one to be as great as it is, you know? And so I really feel that the first one and third one stand on their own feet as being unique in the franchise, while the others just seem to copy each other. But at least, don't you agree that number 1 and number 3 are at least different from each other?
Don't know. I haven't. I have only seen number 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you bring up some pretty obscure titles, the Monkeys, that I don't think
Well, I don't
a lot
know. I
of
don't
us
know.
have
I don't know if Home
really
Alone is
familiar
obscure,
with.
but certainly I wasn't aware of. I didn't even know there was a 4, 5, and a 6. I had no idea. Hey,
I don't think there
TJC.
is a 5 or 6. There's a third one and there's a fourth one.
Oh, okay.
Hmm?
Don't know. Don't know.
Hmm.
Gerard saying he shared a talk boy with his older brother. We recorded.
The Talk Boy is from the second one.
Oh, okay.
That's
Is
the
that
one.
some sort of a tape recorder or something?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's the one he uses to fool the hotel into thinking his father's making a reservation because he just slows down his voice. He uses a payphone and he records it in the lobby of him making a reservation, and then he plays it back on the Talk Boy slow, and so it sounds like an adult asking to make a reservation. So he shows up to the front desk with his father's credit card.
Oh. No. Well, I haven't seen Home Alone since it came out. I saw it when it was released, and I haven't seen it since.
Yes, Centura, they're not as good, but at least number 3 stands alone as better than the fourth one.
Andrew, tall boy. Yeah, is that 16-ounce size can of beer? Is that this size? Is that the size that I just had?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I think this is a 568 mils, so there's a pint in there.
So what I was saying is, like, you know how in the Batmans we have like what 4 or 5 different Batmans?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has a favorite, and sometimes they even have a favorite too. Like a lot of people have a favorite, like they love the original. Like some love Adam West, and then they love the 89 Batman. Some people love the 89 Batman, and then like the Christian Bale. I love Home Alone 1 and 3 because they're each standalone films, and they each have a leading character in it that everybody can at least remember. And each character is unique. It's like in the third, he didn't try to copy Macaulay Culkin. He even had a different haircut. So it felt like so growing up when these films were coming out, in the country that they came out, we've had number 1 and then number 2. Number 3 felt like a breath of fresh air because where people nowadays see the second one as just like a copy of the first one, the third one was so much better than the second because it finally gave us a breath of fresh air. I mean, I was a little sick of seeing Kevin, you know? I mean, do you realize in the second Home Alone film, we had like 20 or 30 extra minutes of Kevin than we did in the first one? It was 2 hours. The second one was 2 hours of Kevin in New York.
Yeah, haven't seen it. Don't know. Or Andrew's saying that Google says 16 ounces is 400 and is point what 4.4
0.45 or 0.45359 ml.
400 is that? Does he mean 453? I don't know. I don't do numbers. I have number dyslexia. I can't figure out numbers. But anyway, this is a pint is 568 mils. So that's what these are.
And if I may say, number 3 is the only one where spies were trying to get into the house. So that was interesting.
Okay, well, I think the chat is getting a little bit bored with this topic, so
I was done.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just saying that I think the chat's getting a little bit tired of talking about Home Alone, so we did.
I was too. I had reached the end of my topic.
Okay. So
So what were you drinking, Tim?
it was just Dr. Pepper.
Oh, what do you think of Dr. Pepper Cherry?
Hello, Dean.
I prefer regular Dr. Pepper.
Well, you do love Forrest Gump, the movie, right?
Yeah.
And that was Forrest Gump's preferred drink, right?
I don't remember him drinking Dr. Pepper in that. I really don't remember.
Oh. Well, I will say, I am thankful that they only got bored of the topic when I had finally reached the end of it. So I'm thankful that nothing got cut out, that I said everything on it that I wanted to say. Okay. So for that, I am thankful.
I'm not doing anything New Year's Eve, Jason. I don't stay up for New Year's Eve. I used to when I was younger, but I really don't give a monkeys now. I'll probably be
I'll
going
be
to
at
bed.
home. I'll be
I'll
at
be going to
home.
bed early. I won't stay awake for New Year's.
Would you both be interested in hearing what I did for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day?
I don't know. It depends how interesting it is. Go for it.
On Christmas Eve, I watched The Nun 2, and then on Christmas Day, I watched The Nun.
Ah, had you already seen The Nun before you watched The Nun 2?
No, but I had seen The Nun 2 in the theaters, and I had purchased The Conjuring 2, which has a painting of the nun in it. And the interesting thing is that in the beginning of the first Nun, they do flashbacks to those scenes in The Conjuring 2 that show the nun.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
But
I didn't know that they were connected.
Yeah, and there's even a post-credit scene that shows characters from the franchise calling the characters from the Conjuring universe in the post-credit scene of the second Nun. But I will say, if you're going to get the Nun 2, get the 4K, because it has the clearest audio and the visuals and everything. It's just, I mean, the 4K is the best version of the Nun 2.
I don't have a 4K player, unfortunately, so I won't.
Yeah, I don't have 4K either, and I'm not into either of those movies. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Kim's saying that she wants to play the Goat Simulator again, which is a good shout. That is a quite a bonkers game, isn't it? Excellent. Yeah. So was the Nun are the Nun films scarier than The Conjuring? Because I
Yes,
watched The Conjuring
yes.
and I wasn't very impressed.
With the Nun, the villain is actually Valak, who is let's just say Valak is a bit of a Valak plays with its victims a bit, and
Well, I'll have to keep my eye out for that. I did see the trailer for it, and it looked okay, but I'm always a bit skeptical about these types of films because the trailers never, the trailers these days they seem to be very misrepresentative of the film. So I don't trust trailers anymore.
I thought they went in a really interesting route with the Nun 2, because with the first one, the original Nun was the lead, good person, the good female. In the second one, they brought in a African American co-lead, which is a nun also, and she plays a part in the final showdown.
Okay, well, let's not spoil it, Monkey, because I haven't seen either of them yet. So let's move on. Don't spoil it for me. Have I broken you, Monkey?
I was just saying, I thought it was interesting. Instead of her being the only good nun, they brought in, not only, they could have cast another white lady, but they chose to have one like the one they chose. It was a really interesting choice of a co-lead. That's all I was saying. That they gave her a that she just wasn't a background character. What?
I was just laughing at Nick's comment. He was saying that his favorite Nun movie was the one with Whoopi Goldberg and Harvey Keitel.
Oh, that is Sister Act.
Yeah, I know. Excellent.
The second Sister Act I did not like. It did not have the heart and soul of the first one.
I didn't like the first one.
Oh.
Excellent. But Andrew's saying he watched Warrior Nun on Netflix. Now that sounds like more my cup of tea. I like the sound of Warrior Nun. That sounds pretty cool. Gerard's saying he enjoys eating pheasant. No, I had pheasant once and I really did not like that at all. It tasted very weird. I assume it was a good pheasant. I don't know, but I really did not enjoy that at all.
So what game system do you play, Monkey Boy?
Well, I don't really. I've got a PlayStation 4, but I've barely used it. I think I've played it for about an hour in total since I had it. I'm just not into modern games. I prefer kind of Sega systems like Mega Drive, Master System, Game Gear. They're the kind of games I can get on with. I can play those okay. Some of the first PlayStation games were okay for PlayStation 1. But after that, I'm just not good with all these different buttons. They're all a bit too complicated for me. I tried to play Grand Theft Auto 5 and I did about 20 missions and then I couldn't do any more because I just wasn't good enough to do them. I tried playing Spider-Man. I got to the first boss, couldn't defeat the first boss, so gave up with that. I played The Last of Us. I got The Last of Us 1 and 2, and I got about 40 minutes into the first one and then couldn't do it anymore, so gave up with that. I'm just really not very good with these modern systems, unfortunately. My PlayStation is just a Blu-ray player now. What have you got there? Oh, is that your Atari system, Tim?
Yeah, it's the Atari Flashback.
That's cool.
It's got 110 games built into it. So it's got Space Invaders, Frogger, and let's see. I thought this was the one that had Centipede. Or it's got Millipede, but maybe it doesn't have Centipede.
Oh, that's cool though.
I thought it had Centipede in this, but it.
So you haven't set it up yet?
I don't like. It's not something I can keep in my living room constantly. It might. I thought this had Centipede in it. It doesn't. It says Pitfall. Oh yeah, it does show Centipede down at the bottom.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I've got another one of these in my room, but I'm not sure if this was the older one or if this was the newer one.
Uh-huh.
But I will make myself small.
Well, I like you grew up with those games, Monkey Boy, and that's why I got this.
Cowabunga Collection, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, cool.
Uh-huh. And
I don't know. I can't see what that is, Monkey.
Yeah, let me make you bigger, Monkey. But
okay, so is that like a compendium of all the games, or?
Yes.
Okay. I recently played the arcade game of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. My friend and I went to a retro arcade in Norwich City, and we played and completed the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game.
And like you, I also play the Sega games. That's why I got. Hold on, I dropped it.
Oh,
This is the steelbook of it. Yep.
so
Hold on.
what is that? Is that all the Sonic games, or?
This is the this is the one that they actually got most right, as far as it feels like an old Sonic game, just with newer graphics. But
Okay.
the feeling is there.
Oh, cool. I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know that was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like all the. I was a big fan of Sega. I've got a Mega Drive and a Master System and a couple of Game Gears, but I haven't connected them to the TV for a long time. I can't. I don't really have the space to have multiple systems plugged in all at once, so they're kind of in storage at the moment. And what's that one?
This is
Or is
the
that?
inside, and it's really cool.
Oh, that looks
See,
cool.
it's they did this for the whole cover. It's all engraved in the whole thing. It's just completely just engraved, and it's really cool when you can see it all. Like when there's not glare, it's every inch is engraved.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But let me just catch up with the chat.
Okay.
Andrew and Nick are have made some funny comments about Centipede, but we won't go into those any further. Brilliant. Oh, Andrew's saying he had a roommate that could beat the Turtles arcade game on about 2 quarters. That's crazy, because it took us many continues and to finish that game, because it's quite hectic. But luckily we didn't have to pay for it, because well, we did in a roundabout way, because the retro arcade that we went to is you pay one fee to go in, and then you can play all the games as much as you want, and every game has unlimited continues. So we spent the day playing old arcade games, R-Type, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Tekken, Chase HQ, what else? Thunderblade, Altered Beast, Double Dragon, all those. House of the Dead, loads of 80s and 90s games. So we spent the whole day there. That was cool.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what you mean by last bag travels and more with Jason.
No, I don't know what that is, Jason. Oh, I think he's on his last bag of Lego, perhaps, because he was building the Batwing, wasn't he? So I guess he's saying he's on the last bag of that, maybe. Dean's asking if he's unique, in as much as he's not big into gaming. No, not really. I mean, I was, when, as I say, when Sega was around, I was into those. I went from Spectrum, I was into, and then I got into the Amiga and the Commodore stuff. And then I got into the Sega systems. But by the PlayStation 2, I was kind of out of it, really. And I'm certainly not into modern games. I can't play them. They're all far too fast and frantic, and there's so many instructions that you have to remember, so many controls. You know, there's about 15 different moves you need to remember to be able to play the game. You know, and press this button to do this, or press this button followed by this button to do something else, and another button to access a menu. And I just can't hold all that information in my head. Once it got past 3 buttons, I was kind of lost, really. I struggled with some PlayStation games, to be honest, because there was just too many controls to remember.
Well,
Gerard's never
Monkey,
been fishing. Oh wow! Go on, Monkey.
would you like to see my favorite character and in the newer Star Wars film? In the newer Star Wars films, my favorite character.
Yes, yeah. I'll be interested to see who
Okay,
you have.
I think you're really gonna like this because it's right up your alley. 1 second.
Okay, why is she your favorite?
She's the one that owns the horses in The Rise of Skywalker.
Yes, yep.
And so where they tried to shut down their like they wanted, the rest of them wanted to just bring like things to ride, but she helped give Finn the idea to bring the those on board, and that's what got them to really get as far as they did without being shut down. And she was I think it's safe to say that by the end of this, you kind of figured that while Finn was really hung up on Rey for the first couple of films, he really connected with this one the most.
Yeah.
And she too was once a person that was recruited by the Empire.
Okay.
So she had common ground with Finn, and let's face it, in the Rise of Skywalker, a lot of it was him saying, "Rey, I needed to tell Rey, I needed to tell you something. Rey, I needed to tell you something." But it was finally good to see him get over her by having her in it.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
And I really hope that they will give her a standalone series in the future so we can get some backstory.
I would doubt it, but you never know. I mean, they seem to be doing a lot of these series now, don't they? I think Lando is going to be the next one.
What?
Okay.
What was going to be the next one, Monkey Boy?
I think Lando is going to be the next one.
I wouldn't count on it. I think they're pretty much they're canceling a lot of stuff. It's not making them any money. They keep losing money on all this new Star Wars stuff. I think they made some on The Mandalorian, but I think on everything else, aside from The Force Awakens, I think they keep losing it and losing money. And Rogue One might have made them some money, but most of it they just keep losing money on.
Well, they're making a good amount of money on the Ahsoka figures from the new show. And Disney Plus even just recently released a 2-hour video that people can watch Ahsoka's apprentice's cat just sleep.
Oh, okay.
It's a ambiance type video that Star Wars fans can just turn on when they want something to have on in the background.
Right. Yeah. Dean was
So
saying,
Monkey,
Dean was talking about the horses riding over the starship at the end of Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, it was pretty daft. I will say, I've said this before. I actually find the sequel trilogy easier to watch than the prequel trilogy. I find at least the pacing is good, and the effects are better. I don't hate the sequel trilogy. I can certainly see why people have a problem with it, and I agree with a lot of the issues that people have with it, but with those films. But
if
what movie did Finn and Rose Tico guilt trip us into not keep horses as pets? Yeah.
What's your opinion on the newer versions of the Guardians of the He-Man figures, where the newest version of the Empress, or I'm blanking on her name.
The
Yeah,
sorceress.
where she is. They have her looking too young.
I think she did. They did make her appear a bit too young. I mean, I think the sorceress, for that character, you need someone that's a little bit older and wiser, I think. But I mean, it's okay. I mean, the whole Kevin Smith fiasco with the Motu Revelations was just shocking. I mean, that was absolute tosh. It really was. So yeah, I'm not particularly invested in any of the newer stuff. It must be said.
I did not like the new design of Whiplash. Your version is better.
Yeah, I like the original Whiplash. The new one's not so good.
I hope
Andrew
they'll just
saying
do a
Monkey Boy.
reprinting of the originals in the future. How about you?
Say again?
I hope in the future, instead of making another interpretation of the characters as
Yeah.
far as toys, I hope they will reprint the original Masters of the Universe toys, like they did with the Turtles recently, but
Okay.
and not do a different version, and just give us the originals again.
Well, you never know. It might happen. I mean, Mattel obviously did the Origins line, which was kind of their reboot of the original figures, and they were similar, but obviously they were 16 points of articulation or whatever they had, so they weren't the 5 POA or 6 POA that we were used to. But now they've just redone the line again. They've refreshed the line with the Filmation style cartoon style characters, which I'm very much interested in. Actually, I've pre-ordered the whole first wave. I've managed to get Man at Arms finally. I wasn't able to get him for the longest time, but I've managed to source him now. So I've got the first 6 figures coming from the Filmation cartoon style, and I'm very much looking forward to those. Andrew's saying that it should be Monkey Boy, like a superhero. No, I don't think anyone needs a Monkey Boy hero. Not. But I see where you're coming from. Yeah, Monkey Boy. Yeah, yeah. I wonder what his superpower would be. Probably throwing shit at people.
Or can instantly put Whiplash's frozen turds into the freezers.
Yeah. What's
now,
this?
Andrew, you're not going to be banned over that.
Snoochie Boochies, indeed, yes. Oh yeah, they did. yes, Dean, they did try and meat shame Chewbacca when he was about to eat that pork. Yeah. Yeah. Andrew's
Oh,
saying he never
okay,
got into the
Andrew.
He-Man cartoon, but he liked the She-Ra cartoon. No, that's fair enough. I used to watch them both. The Horde Troopers were good. Yeah, they were cool. I must say that I always preferred Skeletor to Hordak. I just didn't like the way Hordak was such a dick. I mean, I know Skeletor was a dick, but Hordak was never quite he didn't quite live up to Skeletor, I'm afraid.
I have an interesting story. Growing up, I had two friends, a girl and a boy, and the girl had her brother who was into He-Man. She would dress him up as She-Ra, and that got him to accept a part of himself. And then years later, about like 5 years ago, I happened to look, and I found him on Facebook, and he had gotten the surgery, and it turned out that it was his sister always dressing him up like She-Ra that got him to realize and that he preferred to be one way other than the other. And so He-Man and She-Ra helped him figure out what made him happy.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Kim
well, they're not real people, Kim Gunnick, so
yeah,
not sure if it really matters.
I'm not sure they're all dicks. I mean, a lot of them are. Andrew's saying She-Ra's horse was pretty cool. What, Swiftwind? Yeah. Battle Cat just seemed like a worse version of Panther. No, I liked Cringer and Battle Cat. I thought they were cool.
What did you think, Monkey Boy, about the newer version of the Bell Cat, the green one? They recently did a newer version.
The Revelation series.
Yeah.
I thought the Battle Cat transformation scene in the first episode of Revelation was the best part of that whole series. I actually enjoyed the Battle Cat transformation. I thought that was really good. But it was the only bit that I liked out of the whole series, I'm afraid. The rest of it just made me angry. I was very cross with Kevin Smith. It was completely missold. It was completely misadvertised. It wasn't a He-Man show. It was a Teela show, which is fine. That's not a problem. But it was misrepresented in all the lead up to it. It was pitched as a He-Man show. It was pitched as a continuation to the Filmation cartoon, which it wasn't. And yeah, I felt very let down by that. The only bit that I enjoyed was the Battle Cat transformation, which I did think was done very well. So, yeah, and I haven't seen all of the second series yet, second season or the part 2 of Revelation, because I just can't bring myself to watch it. I probably will do, because I sort of want to know how bad it is, if that makes sense. But I will go into it at least with my eyes wide open, knowing that it's likely to be a pile of crap. Because I was so much looking forward to Kevin Smith redoing that. I don't know if at the time I thought he was the right choice or not, but it certainly appears he wasn't the right choice. It should have been given to a proper Motu fan to carry on, and I think Kevin Smith really dropped the ball. Well, he not only dropped the ball. I mean, he completely.
I think he lied about being a fan of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Yeah,
I think he was too old when it came out to have been a fan of that franchise.
yeah, and there was that clip from an interview he did years ago, and someone found this clip and posted it online, saying that he had no love for He-Man. And then he was saying, "Oh yeah, no, I loved He-Man. I used to watch it every day when I came home from school." I think it was just bullshit. I think he saw dollar signs, and thought he could kind of reboot and reinvent well, he did reboot it, he did reinvent it, but I mean it's not for the better. I think that show was awful. It was so
Yeah,
woke.
Dean, he seems to be a bit of a twat, and he did not need to be involved with He-Man at all.
No, I liked Kevin Smith's films, I must say. I did like Clerks. I thought that was very good. It was an excellent film. It was done on a very tight budget, and I thought it was very good. I liked Dogma. I liked Mallrats. I thought they were very good. Chasing Amy, I thought was all right actually. Clerks 2, in fact, wasn't terrible. I have enjoyed his films. He's certainly got a talent for writing good dialogue.
He was even surprised. He was even surprisingly good in Jersey Girl.
Yeah. I mean, he's not done some bad films. I think Dogma is probably his strongest one. I mean, a lot of his comedy is very puerile and very very childish humor, which is fine. I mean, I'm no better.
There's one where he was not childish. Have you seen Catch and Release?
No, haven't seen it.
It has him with Jennifer Garner in it.
Okay.
I think if you want to see Kevin Smith in a more mature role, watch him in Catch and Release.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, sorry for interrupting you.
That's okay, man. Andrew's saying he likes Kevin Smith's Clerks material. Yeah, Clerks was a good idea, and actually, and it was very although it was very much of its time, it still kind of stands up today because a lot of the themes in the movie are kind of timeless, and it was really done very well. And I've seen Clerks a few times, and it's always very enjoyable.
I always liked that. I always liked that part in the first Clerks where they're talking about the people on the Death Star, the ones that were still building it.
Yeah. No, I think he should have stuck to doing films like that, and he was certainly not the right choice for doing Masters of the Universe. That was a mistake.
Do you think that? Do you think he was the right choice for Elf?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think Will Ferrell has been cast well in most of the roles he's done. I haven't seen a movie where he was the wrong choice. He was very good in that film where he had to sell everything in a yard sale. Everything Must Go.
Yeah.
He was very good in that. But no, I like Will Ferrell. I mean, he's kind of a one-trick pony, but it's a good trick, and I think he does well in movies. I mean, he was very good in Anchorman, and films like that. So no, I think he was the right choice for Elf. Yeah, that's a good film.
Even though this is my favorite live action film that he's in, well, besides his appearance in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back.
Oh yeah. Sorry, it took me a moment. To think of that.
My favorite animated film that he's in has to be Megamind.
I haven't seen it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Skeletor, you need to get him a copy.
Yeah. Let's just have a look. Oh, Sue's here. Hello, Sue. Thanks for stopping by, man. Stu's saying he liked the look of Kevin Smith's Revelations. He also likes the figures. Didn't like the story or what he did with certain characters. Yeah, I mean, I'm on the fence with the figures. Some of them look great. Some of them really don't, in my opinion. Some of them just look far too big and had too much going on with them. But some of the designs looked okay. Some of the Masterverse figures have been very good. I like Webstore. Webstore looked very good. But there were others that I thought were a real miss. I thought Man at Arms didn't look very good. I think Beast Man was a bit of a missed opportunity. There was a couple of Beast Man figures, in fact, and I think they were both a little bit not weak as such, but I just feel that they weren't the Beast Man I wanted. So I'm in two minds about the Masterverse figures.
In my opinion, the new TV show, even though it had certain moments that I did like, in overall, I'd say it was a steaming pile of shite.
What's Dean watching? Blankety Blank Christmas Special from '83. So was that Terry Wogan, Dean, in '83, or was it? I've forgotten the fella's name now.
He says Family Fortunes Christmas Special from '83. Only When I Laugh Christmas Special from '81. Yes.
Well,
I am stuck in the past.
Yeah, I certainly appreciate Blankety Blank. That was a great program. That was fantastic. That was. And it was Terry Wogan took over from. Was it Les Dawson that used to do Blankety Blank? Oh, okay. Yeah, he's saying it was Wogan. Yeah. I like that. I like the microphone that he had because he had that really long microphone with the little grape on the end. Was his little microphone. I thought that was quite cool.
All thing 80s. You're gonna be moving to a different country. What country are you moving to?
Well, I'll let Dean answer you in the chat, Monkey. But
okay.
He's very much looking forward to moving, I think.
Mm-hmm. He just was waiting a long time for all the stamps.
Correct. Yeah. There you go.
Oh, I'm a big fan of Thailand. If I had the patience for getting my passport stamped, I would too. I love the women of Thailand. I love them. Okay. I'll be good now. Woo. Sorry.
Oh, Andrew's having hot cocoa with banana again. I remember that you were saying that from last week. I've never had that. I'm really going to have to try that at some point because that does sound good. I don't know if I've got any cocoa at the moment.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's okay. It was a very enthusiastic response, but it's okay. It's fine. Dean's agreeing with you, Monkey. Absolutely. Excellent. Oh, hot cocoa with malt. Okay, I've had malted drinks, hot malted drinks before. What is it? Ovaltine or whatever they call it. Is it Ovaltine? That was okay.
My favorite is hot chocolate with peppermint.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Yeah. Are you a fan of cocoa, Tim? Hot chocolate?
Sometimes, but I don't drink it that much.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't had it for ages actually. I should maybe try and get some. I can have it with my lactose-free milk, presumably. So I can probably have that if there's not too much milk in the actual cocoa itself. Yeah. But yeah, speaking of which, I should probably think about getting to bed pretty soon, Tim.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go through the chat a little bit more before you go because
Yeah,
I think
no problem.
I think I'm gonna end it early this week since there hasn't been as many people here this week, and Lester couldn't stay long, and Nick's not feeling well, so.
Yeah, I hope you're feeling better soon, Nick. That's a real pain. How have you managed to catch COVID, Nick? I didn't think you'd seen anybody for a few days. You've been unlucky to catch that. Have you been licking the handrails in buses again?
Well, he does have a kid though, so maybe he could have picked up flu germ or something from his kid.
I guess so. I hope your family are okay, Tim. Nick. I hope they're doing okay. You might end up all down with it together. Yeah, my friend, I went to a Boxing Day gathering yesterday, and my friend had coffee with Bailey's. She really liked that.
And Andrew saying for a while I was on that tea that blooms in hot water, but it was more the show than the tea that I liked. And
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, mate.
And Soda Cauldron saying, so will the new Filmation versions of He-Man be more like the Super 7 versions?
Sort of. So, in fact, they probably look even more like the cartoon than the Super 7 versions do. And I really rate the Super 7 versions, I must say. I mean, the Skeletor that I use is the Super 7 one, and I've got the whole range that Super 7 did. I think there was 24 figures I think that they did before they lost the license, and I've got all of them. I think they're great, but I must say I did really like the look of these new Mattel Origins cartoon collection, and I was at first I was a little bit unsure. I thought, oh, are these going to be any good or not? And I saw the first couple of images and I wasn't sold. And then I've seen a couple of videos and photographs of people that have had them in hand, and actually I'm really looking forward to getting them. I can't wait. I think I've got the first wave coming in January, I believe, and the second wave in March. And I think they're actually coming in. I think He-Man and Beast are coming first, and then it's Skeletor, Man-at-Arms, Teela, and Trapjaw are coming in the second wave. Certainly from the supplier that I've bought them from, anyway. But
Tim,
I'm looking forward to those.
Yes.
I want to thank you. I'm happy you guys are going to be ending it soon. I'm feeling like I'm feeling like what what the one puts in the freezer. I gotta go.
You gonna be okay? Crap. I hope he's gonna be okay.
That was quite alarming. Hope you're okay, Monkey. Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming on.
Monkey. I hope you're gonna be okay.
I think he had to make a bathroom.
Yeah, and
quite abruptly.
1980s and Star Wars guy says sticking with an apple squash ATM, simple but effective. And
Yeah, nice apple squash. Yeah,
huh?
nice apple squash. What do you call? You don't call it squash in the US, do you? It's like a cordial, like you mix with water, and you have a drink. You make a
I
drink
don't
from it.
know. I
don't
don't
know what
really know.
Dean will be able to tell us. Dean, what do they call squash in the States? Do they call it cordial? I don't know if they even have that in the States, actually, to be honest.
Yeah. And
Dean
Andrew
let us know.
Andrew says I'm a sucker for gimmicks, and Universal Toy Collectors saying can't wait for December 31st back to being Stu.
Yeah, that's what you think, Sue. You're never going to get rid of that now, man. You've really made a rod for your own back there.
And Action Pop Dad, most of my family had it the week before Christmas. I licked handrails on buses.
Oh yeah, well, I'm sorry your family have been unwell, dude. But yeah, licking handrails on buses will do it. That's a guarantee. You
And
need to stop doing it, man.
Yeah, Gerard O'Connor says, I'm happy for us all to end early. I love Christmas, but it is also quite tiring also. Yes, it can be, Gerard. And Andrew says, I tried the hot cocoa bombs that feature a surprise Spider-Man marshmallow and the baby Yoda marshmallow, but the cocoa was not good. I dumped it without drinking it. I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh.
And Action Pop Dad says, you will always be Sue now.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think you're going to get rid of that, Sue. That's going to stick, man.
Kim Gonick says, love this Japanese flower tea. And
I don't know what this is. I'm going to have to try it.
And all things 80s. I've seen the Stu Sue thing before, but I have no idea what's going on. Well, all things 80s.
I didn't. Go on.
Yeah, all things 80s. There was this like HasLab Hasbro Pulse thing that it was like a Star Wars toy spaceship that they put on Hasbro Pulse, and he didn't think it was going to get funded, but it got funded, so he agreed to change his name from Stu to Sue.
Yeah, I think I was speaking to Nick about this because I didn't know what had happened either, and Nick explained to me that that Stu had agreed to change his name to Sue if this item got funded, but it was only meant to be until January, and then he was going to change it back. But I think it's a done deal now. I don't think anyone is going to be calling him Stu again. I think it's going to be Sue from now on.
And unless
he gets really upset about it, obviously. Then
yeah, I think he's going to get upset about it. Andrew says, I like Kerrygold to add to coffee, but not seen it in years. My sister that has lived in Ireland for decades got me to switch to Bailey's.
Okay, yeah.
Gerard O'Connor says, milk with hot chocolate. Yes, I know some of who use water rattles my tiny brain. And Andrew says, Monkey Boy, one type is lotus flower tea. It looks like a dried out bud, but when hot water hits it, it blooms out into a pretty display. I like a show.
Oh, okay, cool.
And Universal Toy Collector says, Dean, it was my penance for making a daft statement online regarding the HasLab ghost being fully backed.
You've only yourself to blame, Sue.
And Gerard O'Connor says, clever girl, your sister is Andrew. And Andrew at Gerard O'Connor. Coffee is also a good base for hot cocoa, which I guess makes it a mocha.
Yeah.
And all things 80s, Dean says at Universal Toy Collector, okay, I'm still none the wiser, but I appreciate your dedication. And Universal Toy Collector, I was so confident it wouldn't fully back. I said I would change my name to Sue if it did, and it did.
I mean, hats off to you, mate. All credit to you. You followed through with it. So I mean, that's to be applauded. But yeah, I don't think this backing out of it in January is going to work out for you, man.
And All Things 80s says that Universal Toy Collector, I got it, and travels more with Jason, so nearly finished it on the end run. I think he's talking about his Lego building.
Yeah,
and
yeah. He's doing his
All Things
Batwing.
80s Orange Cordial.
Cordial. Oh, okay. So they call it cordial as well. Okay.
And Gerard O'Connor, Jameson, Ginger, and Lime for me this night. And Universal Toy Collector, laughing out loud. Cheers, Monkey Boy, laughing out loud.
Sorry, Sue. I'm just calling it like I see it.
Andrew says at Gerard O'Connor, give the dogs a pat for me. And Gerard says, I was searching for a Sue in the chat while scratching my head. And then Gerard says, Lady and Harriet say woof. And Action Pop Dad, even if he gets really upset, it's too late now. And Universal Toy Collector, laughing out loud. I won't be upset by it, laughing out loud. And
well, Jason, I was really puzzled when everyone was calling him Sue. I was just like, why is everyone calling him Sue? Is this like an in joke that I've missed? And it was. Yeah, I didn't catch it at the time. Didn't catch it at the time.
Travels and More with Jason says, yes, I have it. I have finished it. It looks brilliant. And
well done. That's taken him a couple of hours. Well done, Jason. Good work.
If Stu agrees to another year, I will have his name tattooed on me. And Travels and More with Jason, laughing out loud, Sue. And 1980s and Star Wars Guide, Travels and More with Jason. Is it the 89 Batwing? And Andrew says, Travels and More with Jason, congrats. So you've got to go to bed, so...
Yeah, I think I need to head off to bed. I've had a couple of late nights, and I'm quite exhausted. You haven't been sleeping particularly well either, have you, Tim?
No. So I'm going to end the stream, and Jason says yes, 1989 Batman. So it's
excellent. Hopefully next year Dean will get around to watching the 89 Batman. Thanks, Andrew.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Nick. I'm sorry that you've been ill, so...
He's going to get Sue's name tattooed on his arse now.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Tom. So thanks, I'm going to end it here since Monkey Boy has to go to bed.
Yeah, it's getting on. It's getting on for half 11 now here. So
okay, so thank you all in the chat who stopped by, and thank you to Lester and the monkey for coming on the panel.
Thanks very much, everyone. Cheers for stopping by, saying hello, and supporting the stream.
Hopefully we'll do another Chillstream next week.
Okie dokie. 2024.
So, yeah, it'll be.
Have a good New Year, Tim. Yeah. Happy New Year.
Yeah, I hope it'll be a good one. So I'm going to end here.
Thanks, everyone. See you later.